The success formula personally over the 2 decades, what I've realized is passion for data, and having an ability to make sure that, the data attracts you. So things in every sphere of the world would have a data, but personally the data has always attracted me, and hence I'm where I am. Started off with an analyst, and today, heading a data science team in my company, Philips Information Technology. So it's the passion for the data. And secondly, it's an ability to keep continuously having the learner within me, learn the technology stacks that are getting, introduced by the cloud companies, by the companies which are now keeping the data, intact for the organizations. So I think it's the learning, a learner within myself, which has kept me to where I am, and the passion for the data. And maybe perhaps third is, how the balance that I have got in my life by being into this domain. This domain does not require you to be on field, on ground always. So the balance I could keep to my personal life as well as professional attention, I think has helped me where I am today. I think it's a fact. 80-20. Today it could be 70-30, a little bit of an improvement, Somik, from what it was yesterday. But it is the fact of the world of data, because the volume, velocity and variety that data is bringing demands that significant amount of time in organizing the data to be used the way it has to be. So first of all, this is the fact. And to make it happen, I think if I speak a decade back or something, it was all manual. There has to be engineers sitting, doing the data modeling, organizing the lineage, making sure the data is being protected and kept, and then to be used, right? But today, after the cloud introduction, end-to-end full stack solutions being available, I think this is very much optimized. This is very much automated. However, still you need engineering capabilities and people with that mindset and an ability to design the engineering solution and architect it right for the consumption of an insight is still there. The efforts are gone, but the efforts are taken away from doing it hands down to more working on end-to-end stack solution to give the right data structures and engineering ahead for the insights consumption. So I think that's the difference I have seen. And in terms of an insights consumption as well, I think the technology is evolved and we are spoiled that we need everything in our hands, be it running a business or running anything today in the world. So I think the insights consumption as well, people are now looking more for solutions, to the point solutions. If I'm a sales guy, I'm used to opening a salesforce.com to run my customer relationship management. I do want the insights or the decision-making ability right there in my tool. I don't want to go and open something else to know what is going to be my quarter's, fallback. Am I going to meet my quarter? Not going to meet my quarter. So I think both ways, the 70 and the 30 or 80-20, whatever you want to call it, is evolving. And technology is making us, bring automation and take away the manual efforts that we used to do 10 years back. Data governance is must. Take ChatGPT, the recent example. If the ChatGPT starts to give us abusive words, how would we feel? Right? It's not a nice experience. Of course, the governance of a data is must to make sure the consumers of the data get the right information to take the right decision. Of course, there is a variability to it. You might not be 100% true to what you want to, but the data quality has to be controlled. And to control the data quality, you need governance. One. Second, you also need governance to comply to a lot of FDA regulations that have been put down, because you do not want the data to harm someone else. Right? Your decision should not be a harmful decision. Typically in Philips, being into the healthcare technology, and we are a large scale equipments company, our products are mostly CT and MRI scanners in the ultrasounds and the machines. And if you put in an AI solution onto it, and God forbidden, then AI is giving you a diagnosis which is not true to what you want to hear as a patient. It's a more harm than a cure. And hence FDA guides us very strongly. We have to be in the FDA compliance guidelines and make sure our solutions are tested enough in the environment and has the right information content that comes out, which can be consumed by the technicians who uses our machines. So governance is paramount for the usage of the data for the right purpose, and also to make sure the quality of what you're inputting to the systems and applications are rightly controlled. And hence you have to drive a lot of internal governance within your organizations and a process, so that the people who are keying in the information are also doing the job right. So I think it's both ways, internal governance and external governance that are mandated by government and regulatories that you have to, abide by. Of course, data has to be protected, one, for local usages and local for global usages in many contexts, but also we have the PIAs, privacies, adherences that we have to do. Something which is a private information or an information which cannot be disclosed about an individual or the person's identity has to be protected. So I think that governance is given to any industry today, be it a financial sector, be it a healthcare sector, be it a retail sector. Consumers want their informations to be secured. So you have to comply the privacy of the individuals by de-identifying your information such that an individual's identity cannot be misused. Other than that, I think the protection of the data is also from the usage. You should not let go of your data access to someone who is not authorized to say it. For example, your company financials, and today many people spoke about it also in the forum whole day, that if your information like financials about your patents or the innovation designs you're bringing for the company, those are protected data and are kind of proprietary to the company, and you need to make sure that information is authorized to the right people holding the right roles and responsibility, having an authority to access the information. So you need to actually, in your data marketplace where you're keeping all these data as products for the company to be using for the insights, make sure you have unity catalog kind of a setup wherein you have authorization rules, organized and keyed in, so that if somebody is asking for an authority, there are necessary checks and balances done before giving an access to the data for the consumption. That's the second way of protecting. And a third is, while using the data, you need to make sure it's used right. So, and that also is a protection of your data for the right content usage. And that's where the product owners play a critical role, who is consuming that insights in a sales function or a marketing function or in the product design function, has to make sure he or she has used it right. And there has to be an additional protection to the consumption of an insight, and necessary access controls have to be put to that layer. So 3 levels of control typically happens today to make sure the data governance is taken care and it's protected. I think the crowd is speaking for itself. There is a good amount of crowd insight, shows the interest they have on the topic. The topics chosen for the day are also around making sure the education around this topic is created from the technology angle plus the experience angle of the institutions who are doing it. Third, I also realize there are many such organizations who are coming up with like a full stack solution, plug-in solutions on top of the data. I think it was interesting to see the perspective of those firms in unlocking the data plus as well as locking the data right for the organization. So I think the topics were very relevant. I know nobody spoke about a chat GPT or a Gen AI today. I was very happy it was not spoken too much about, because it actually is coming like a wave in the industry and everybody is going for chat GPT. But I think today the focus was more around data as a strategy, because chat GPT is the medium of it. If data as a strategy cannot be learnt well as an organization, no chat GPT can help anyone. Right, so it was an interesting day in a session.